Hello everyone, it's been a while, but welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share with you one of my photos. This is a picture I took at um, Ana Maria Island. It is one of the most beautiful beaches in Florida, and I am lucky to actually live quite close, well, not very close, 30-40 minutes in a good day, because traffic is sometimes nuts, especially in the winter here in Florida. But yeah, very beautiful place. It's yeah, nature is amazing. But anyways, we are on the MB-820 and today is episode 4, and today we're going to cover cloud migration. What we're going to cover today is migrate on-premise data to Business Central, Dynamics 365 Business Central, and the core concept of this lesson is the migration tool, which is one of the features of Business Central. It's a tool, part of Business Central, and let's get started with talking about it. Migrating data using the cloud migration tool. We need to look at where is it hosted, where is the data hosted on premise. If you have a SQL Server, then we need the SQL Server 2016 plus, and the database on it should be compatibility level 130 or more. Then what are our options? What products can we bring? What sort of data can we bring to Business Central Online? We can come from GP, we can come from BC older versions, 14, all the way to from 14 all the way to 24. And what do we need in terms of target? Well, we need a provision tenant. So we need a tenant loaded with Business Central, latest version. In our case, today, July 2024, we need version 24.2. When obviously migration tool supports specific paths for migration, you have to be on a supported migration path, which is, as I said, either GP or BC from 14 plus all the way to 24. Actually 14 is going to be gone soon, so we're going to be able to move from 15 pretty soon, from 15 plus. Update statistics and reorganize indexes. Well, that should be done anyways as part of the maintenance plans on-prem regularly. Keep data you migrate to a minimum. There are 6 extensions, part of BC, that take care of bringing data from a different system to BC as part of the migration tool. So migration tool is basically 6 extensions, and those 6 extensions, we have them here: Intelligent Cloud, BC Intelligent Cloud, BC Cloud Migration previous release, if you're coming from a previous release, or if you're coming from GP, you have the GP Intelligent Cloud and History Smart Lists. it's a solid tool. Cloud migration, it's a solid tool, so it is the fastest way to move data from on-prem SQL Server to SaaS Azure SQL. I've been part of other migrations, let's say from NAV 2016 to NAV 2009 to NAV 2016, and while there is a technical upgrade, part of this upgrade, some of the add-ons have to be dealt with manually, and when I say manually, basically you need to build the migration tool. So cloud migration is awesome because everything is in place. You just have to do a few clicks to set it up, and you're ready to go. You're ready to bring data from BC 14 plus all the way to 24 in BC Online, or from GP 2015. As it says there, streamlined process, prevent you from making mistakes, executes tables that should not be, excludes tables that should not be replicated, and detect the issues with data. Sometimes it's auto-correcting, or sometimes is giving warnings. There is a Yammer group, Yammer club, where if you're part of it, you can ask questions. Members of the community, members of the channel will respond, or Microsoft employees will respond to that, to your questions in the Yammer. And the two pages that you have access, you can use in BC for getting started with the cloud migration are cloud migration setup and cloud migration management. So obviously you start with the setup, you add a SQL connection string, and I have an example here. SQL connection string contains server equal and the server, your server, including the instance, database equal database name, and user ID is equal user backslash domain backslash user. If it's a Windows authentication, if it's SQL authentication, then you need a SQL user. Password equal and your password, and the system will generate an integration runtime, and then you can install on-prem the integration runtime, which is a Windows application, and it will look, once it's installed and registered, it will look something like this. You can see here Microsoft integration runtime configuration manager, and yeah, let's see next. Under the hood, there is a nice YouTube video created by Microsoft 365 Business Central team. I have it here. Let me see if I can show it to you. Here we go.
Where we are going to show to you all of the important concepts. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Cloud Migration for Beginners. My name is Nicola, and I'm a software developer, and one of the areas that I'm working on is cloud migration tooling. Together with me I have Ricardo.
Yeah.
So the video is called Introduction to Business Central Cloud Migration 2023, and is under Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. These are the two guys that worked on the cloud migration tool, and the video is excellent. If you are planning to work with cloud migration tool, I strongly recommend viewing this video, and click on like on it. And if you didn't subscribe to this channel, please subscribe. It's the number one destination I go when I need to learn something from Microsoft. And as I said, it's called Introduction to Business Central, and it contains a lot of things, including how to set it up. But for MB-820, we don't need to go into such a level of detail, but it's definitely a good idea to view this video. Under the hood, what's going on is we have left hand side here is the on-prem, is the source, and we have in the right hand side the destination. Let's have a look at the cloud migration under the hood screenshot I took from that video. So you see the left hand side is we have the SQL Server DB, and then we generated the self-hosted integration runtime. This guy, the self-hosted, is pulling data from the SQL Server, is pushing the data into a pipeline that is part of the Azure Data Factory, which is an Azure service. So this part here is all Azure, and then it's further pushed by another integration runtime facing this Azure SQL DB. It's pushed to this Azure SQL DB. So that's how these are steps in the pipeline that are executed, and the mechanism through which the data is moved from one side to the other is through this integration runtimes and Azure Data Factory. You can see here the integration runtime has been run, and there are some we can see which one had issues, which one was successful, and that's how kind of the cloud migration management page looks like. And you can this is the main place where you trigger the replication from source to target, and with run data replication, then you have an action run data upgrade here that once you replicate the data, but it's not upgraded. So especially if you are on a version that is version BC version 14, run data replication brings data in, but it's bringing data as of BC 14, which has to be upgraded. Run data upgrade, this is what the action does. What does it's upgrading? It's doing something similar to a technical upgrade, and yeah, one thing that you're going to notice is during the run data upgrade you will lose access to BC, but there are APIs that you can check the status of the migration. I'm going to show you later in the video. And manage custom tables is for basically if you have tables that are not included in the migration, but the customer insists on bringing it in BC Online, then you would have to create in the target tables, and that's via either table extensions or tables. For example, if you have fields in, let's say, in GP on the customer table, I think it's account, maybe not customer table, but yeah, you can create an extension, and you just have to be very careful with the names and the data types of those fields. And the primary key. The primary key has to match the source and destination. And the manage custom tables, I'll show you in a few seconds, is basically a screen or an interface where you can connect the tables that have not been brought in from the source to the tables that have been that you want to bring in the data. and those tables will be part of your extension. And that's what we just talked about. Let me show you. I have here some project where a customer insisted on bringing from GP gl00100.col, and no, the table is gl00100 in GP, and it has to match all these fields, have to match the fields. So this is a table in BC, so definitely this is the target, but this target basically is mirroring a table in GP SQL database. And yeah, the names are very important, the data type is important, and the primary key is important. I have also here another one, PM 3600, and again the names, the data type, and the primary key are matched between source and target. And let's have a look at manage custom tables. Target, as I said, is gonna be the target table is gonna be in an extension. You select the extension, and then the table and the table name, and the source, the GP table or the BC14 table or the BC19 table, so cloud migration. This lesson here is talking about the cloud migration tool. There are questions that you might have. It's good to review this part here. Cloud migration API. These are a few APIs that have been made available by Microsoft to set up the cloud migration, and basically this is an endpoint for setting up the cloud migration, and looks very similar to what we did on the cloud migration setup page. And what else? They have the connection string, about the connection string, and then you have a patch. You can send a patch request if you have changes to the cloud migration setup. And these are the companies that will be replicated. So the endpoint cloud migration companies is for companies that are getting replicated, and you can also you can with this patch to cloud migration companies, you can mark it as replicable. And then yeah, you can create companies marked for replication, which is a post request to an unbound action. Microsoft Nav create companies marked for replication. You can check the status using this endpoint cloud migration status, and that was one set of APIs. Yeah, so set up cloud migration, create companies, mark them for replication, ready for application, and cloud migration status. endpoint. And I think that was it for cloud migration. Thank you for coming again and joining me on this lesson, cloud migration tool. Thank you for coming. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. You want to see more about MB-820, that's the place. See you soon.